I think we can all agree that the Warhammer hobby can be incredibly expensive.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way, yeah.
Therefore, when you have some miniatures left over from your last project, well, you don't want them to go to waste. So in today's video, I will be reusing some old bits I have lying around and a bit of trash to make a little, palette cleanser diorama. From buying and painting some of the new kill teams, I still had some Scarab Swarms left over from a old Necron Warrior box, as well as some of the Orky terrain from the Octarius box, I don't know what it's called, the big kill team box that came out with the new edition. Also, I found some Gretchen that I still had. The Gretchen box, I believe, is truly magnificent. All of these sculpts are incredibly characterful, and you can easily paint one of them up in 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and it's just a very fun little project to do. That is why I already have gone through 2 boxes of these little guys, and I might soon have to buy a third one, because, I don't know, building some orc kill teams and having a 3D printer now, I think I might start to build another army, an orc army, in addition to my other ones. Now, as for fixing everything in place, I used some milliput, some super glue, some, definitely not cum. To add a bit more interest to the piece, I also added one grot that is, hanging on for dear life. That's where the title of the piece, I think I might call it Cliffhanger, comes from. As well as the leader of the group firing up a flare gun. The flare I made out of a paperclip and a simple airsoft BB I had still lying around my floor from, well, a couple years ago. I mean, these guys keep appearing everywhere you look, You can't get rid of them. They're like cockroaches, I don't know. Also, I added some spikes, and these, I found a way to make these in an Instagram video recently, and they're so stupidly simple, yet they look great. To make them, you simply grab a piece of sprue and a pencil sharpener, and well, you sharpen the thing. I don't know how to explain it properly, but essentially you're making a pencil out of a piece of sprue that you have left over from whatever kit you want. Now, when it came to painting, I decided I would go for sponging on all of the terrain pieces because, well, I believe the technique is super fun and it's also quite nice, the results you get, and it's even pretty fast. So I want to get better at it because, practice makes perfect, and I have just recently started using this technique, so I try to use it wherever I can, other than on the main miniatures, because, well, I'm not confident enough in that area, I also completely refrained from using any metallic paint in all of the process because, well, I don't really have a reason for it. It would probably really help the piece, but I don't know, I didn't want to. There isn't any grand plan here. It's I just didn't feel like it, Next, all of the Scarab Swarms were painted with a simple layering technique. I didn't really go for any smoothness or edge highlights or really looking good at all. I just wanted to sell the overall effect of all of them because, this is just a filler project. I want to move on to making a new kill team or a new army or something. As for the grots, the main centerpieces of the entire diorama, they were made by also using a simple layering technique. I didn't really paint most of the cloth for them, and I don't know why, but the camera really picked up a lot of contrast on all of their skin, even though there isn't that much in real life. When it came to the cloth, I decided to just paint like half of it, and therefore I basically just started with the highlights. I skipped the base coat step completely, so I just left most of it black, and I was just being lazy there, but I might actually do this for more pieces because it actually turned out really good. Lastly, I wanted to draw a bit more attention to their faces because, that's where you will look and that's the important part. So I actually spent more time on painting most of their faces than the rest of their bodies. And also I decided to add in some pink on the tips of their noses and on their lips because, I saw some Spanish painters on Instagram use it, and it really looks nice, and it really draws a lot of attention there because, you know, it's a different color to all of their green and brown on the rest of their body. So I don't know, it really helps. I will have to continue using this on more grots at least. Finally, to paint the last guy's flare, I added a bit of this white fluffy stuff. I don't know what it's called, I'm gonna be honest. I could Google it, but I'm too lazy for it. You know, I will put it on screen, I guess, the German version of it, you know. But it really looks great. I found this technique in many scale modeling hobbyists dioramas, and it looks great. Usually you would put like a LED in the middle of it so that it looks like there's actually a fire that the smoke is coming from, or something similar that is emitting the smoke. I don't believe I can really work with electronics without burning the house down. So I had to resort to painting the object source lighting myself, and I would say in the end I will have to redo the object source lighting on the big flare because it looks pretty shitty, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't look like a flare at all, but whatever.